Tracy, I mean, we saw last night 60 points. James has got to be your front runner for MVP at this point.
It's no question. Nobody is even close. This guy was my front runner before he got injured. Had a little minor setback when he came back a little bit. It was a little rusty, but last night he showed why he was my front runner. I mean, this was a tremendous, performance by him. 60 points is great, but to also have the 10 assists and the rebounds to go with it, I mean, he was working. He was cooking last night. I mean, it also came against the worst opponent in the NBA.
Yeah, but he had no one with him, right? I mean, you don't have Chris Paul, you don't have Trevor Ariza, you don't have Eric Gordon.
Not to take anything away from this triple-double performance, it was spectacular, but I got to go on the other side. And I hate to talk about my former team, but this was a bad coaching job. When you don't have no Chris Paul, when you don't have Trevor Ariza, Eric Gordon only played 10 minutes. I was watching that clip. You know who was out there on the floor with him? Baramute, P.J. Tucker, Capella, and Ryan Anderson. Who was the other playmaker? There was no playmakers out there.
Nobody.
Get the ball out of James Harden's hand, please. Nobody's out there can make plays other than James Harden. You let him go one-on-one. He's the best one-on-one player in the league. This was a terrible coaching job.
You're saying that this is basically Toronto Raptors against Kobe, where they just let him keep shooting.
Let him keep, absolutely. I mean, look at it. He's the best one-on-one player.
Do not the breaststroke on the court.
Which is amazing.
Listen, if P.J. Tucker and Baramute are going to kill me from outside, I will live with that. I can't allow him, not when he doesn't have another MVP candidate, which is in Chris Paul, out on the floor with him.
Well, so you say it's not even close for MVP.
No,
you think it's not even close?
I don't think it's close either. I mean, I think he's been the front runner all year. It would be very interesting to see how the voters would have reacted had Chris Paul played the whole season, because typically voters want to go with the undisputed only star on a team. But I think he's been clearly the front runner. The Curry case will be interesting because he's missed 15 games, and only one MVP since the league went to an 82-game schedule has ever missed even that many games. That's Bill Walton in 78, but he's been ridiculous for the best team in the NBA. So that's going to be, and then you have like Giannis and AD, whose teams aren't quite winning enough to get in the race. So I think it's clearly Harden.
This is James' trophy to lose.
Well, it's interesting because you talk about can Steph or KD ever win another MVP with each other on the team, right? Because there are voters who just feel like, hey, you got that other guy taking away coverages, defenses, and making it easier for you. You can't be an MVP. Chris Paul doesn't do that to you, though, in James Harden's case, Tracy?
No, not this year. Chris has also been in and out of the lineup a little bit, but James has been pretty consistent. This is his time to win it. I mean, last year he thinks he got snubbed, not winning it last year. But I mean, we've seen a historic performance out of Westbrook, and even 2 years ago, he had a phenomenal year. So this is his time to win it. And
with Curry and KD, would you ever pick one of them when they're both on the same team together?
It'd be hard for me to.
I could.
You could.
Yeah, but to me, they also have Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, so they have 4 of the 12 to 15 best players in the league. Houston and Golden State are close in the standings. If I'm going to give it to a Warrior, it's got to be one of those years where they're just so much better than everybody else.
Right. And James is obviously the reason that they're close in the standings. So.